This guy definitely looks nothing like his profile picture from the dating website. I sit across from Steven at a subpar Italian restaurant, listening to him drone on about his video game collection. All the while, I stare in my peripheral vision at the giant mole just right of his nose with a ghastly thick black hair coming out of it. He shaves the rest of his face. You'd figure he wouldn't miss that hair. Despite the fact that my attention is fixed on the mole, that's not really what I'm upset about. In his profile pictures, the mole was actually quite charming, a mark that added character to his handsome face. The face I'm looking at right now is a lot heavier and at least 7 years older. There's no question that the pictures he uses on his profile were taken long ago when he was still young, fit, and reasonably attractive. False advertisement. No wonder there's such a bad stigma around using online dating sites. This is my first experience with one and I'm already turned off. I think this guy might qualify as a catfish. Can someone be a catfish if they use the real pictures, just old ones? Usually, the catfish doesn't actually show up to the date. I sigh inwardly, trying my best to hide my disappointment at the whole situation. At least Steven is nice. I can't count the number of crude responses I received as soon as I created my profile. And dick pics. Nothing says let's go out on a date like an unwanted picture of a penis. I can't help but wonder if that ever actually works. Somewhere in the world, there has to be a group of women who receive such images and respond that they're ready to jump on that. Why else would so many guys send dick pics as their conversation starter? Thinking about it makes me realize how oblivious I still am to how the dating world works. You would think that after working for a matchmaking service for 3 years, I'd be wise to the ways of men. But I'm completely clueless. Probably because I've been trying to avoid dating for my entire adult life. My therapist says I'm ready for it, though. Says that I should start putting myself out there. Otherwise, I'm never going to get over my fear of men and intimate situations. This is not a good start. While I'm not afraid of Steven, I'm definitely repulsed by him. He's dressed like a complete slob in a pair of ratty cut-off shorts and a t-shirt that has video game controllers printed all over it. There are flakes of dandruff poking out through his thinning blonde hair. He smells like a mix of barbecue, body odor, and motor oil. And he scratched his crotch at least 3 times since we sat down to eat. I feel overdressed and underwhelmed. Since this is my first date in, well, ever, I wanted everything to be perfect. I changed 4 times before settling on a purple cocktail dress with a ruched waist and black sandals with white rhinestones across the toes. Then I spent over an hour curling my long auburn hair and applying my makeup to perfection. Now I feel like it was a wasted effort. Steven had told me that the place he was taking me to was a surprise, so I had just assumed it would be somewhere nice. Boy, was I wrong. This restaurant only has 3 stars on Yelp, with most of the reviews being 1 star. I can see why. Aside from being an outdated hole in the wall, my chicken parmigiana arrived cold and looks like something that came out of a Chef Boyardee can. I pick at it lifelessly, wondering how much more of this I can take. The company is bad. The food is bad. If Steven would just stop talking for 5 seconds, I would use the opening to excuse myself. It's starting to look like that might not happen, that I might be trapped here all night. I glance over Steven's shoulder at the clock on the wall. We've been at the restaurant for nearly 2 hours. 5 more minutes. That's all I'm giving this guy before I interrupt him to say that I'm going to the bathroom. When I return, I'll make my escape. The clock ticks down with more one-sided conversation. Finally, 5 minutes is up, and I politely excuse myself to the ladies' room. When I get there, I scowl at my reflection in the mirror. This was supposed to be a therapeutic exercise according to my shrink. I'm starting to think that I'm going to need therapy for my therapy now. When I leave the bathroom, I don't even bother sitting back down. I stand at the side of the table and thank Steven for a lovely time, even though it was anything but.